conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this regular meeting of the council at 6:08 p.m. on December 3rd, 2025. Roll call.
Jason Daly.
Present.
Nicole Hansen.
She did ask to be excused for work-related reasons.
John Hurt.
Here.
Michael Ferguson.
Here.
Mike Parsons.
And Mr. Parsons has not contacted us.
And Mayor Shai.
Here. We have a quorum. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Start swearing. We're going to swear in newly elected officials. Ms. Hansen isn't here, so we can wait on her. But Mr. Hurt and Mr. Daly will be swearing you in. Yes, we'll do one at a time here. Start with Mr. Hurt.
Oh, hell.
Mr. Hurt, with the way his seat became vacated, he will end up getting sworn in twice, once now and then once at the beginning of the year. 2 photo ops, like I said earlier.
Maybe 6.
All right, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, John Hurt,
I, John Hurt,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the state of Washington
and the laws of the state of Washington,
and the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States of America,
and the laws of the United States of America.
and that I will faithfully and impartially perform
I will faithfully and impartially
and discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the City Council
of the City Council
of the City of Vader, Washington,
of the City of Vader, Washington,
according to law and the best of my ability.
according to law and the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
That's it. Turn it to myself.
But John, that's a hard act to follow.
Oh, wow. But just because I haven't.
You didn't stumble on any words or anything.
When that happens, it's my fault. All right, Mr. Daly. Okay, do this again?
Yep.
I, Jason Daly,
I, Jason Daly,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the state of Washington,
and the laws of the state of Washington,
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the United States of
of
America,
the United States of America.
and that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
perform and discharge the duties
perform and discharge the duties
of the City Council
of the City Council
of the City of Vader, Washington,
of the City of Vader of Washington,
according to law and the best of my ability,
according to law and the best of my abilities.
so help me God.
So help me God. Okay. Here. 4 years.
Yes, only until December 1st, 2029.
It goes quick.
All right, mayor's report. City accountability audit for Washington State. The closing meeting is next week at 1 o'clock. All the council members are invited. Is that right, Kristen?
Yeah, there'll be an official invitation announcement.
That's next week at 1. McMurphy Park grant, no update on that. The cultural resources survey report, we're still waiting on the state review. Planning committee is next week on the 10th. And this weekend is the City of Vader holiday jubilation event. There'll be a parade at 7, tree lighting at 7:30, and then all day long there's food vendors and shopping bazaars and things like that. So information is online.
It's at the jail.
Get the jail and at the
Was that
church.
what the teepee things are for? What are those teepee? I'm sorry.
Those are for the strings of lights going across the street.
Okay, go ahead. I apologize.
They are, yeah, that's a good question. They're so that they can put lights across the road so that the road can be framed in with lights. And so they're going from the buildings to
The
the
teepee.
towers. There's no buildings over there. So that's how they'll support them. Okay, council reports. Any members of the council have any reports tonight? Okay. Moving on to agenda approval. I do not have any updates.
Make a motion that we approve the city meeting agenda. Agenda for December 3rd, 2025 as written.
We have a motion by Mr. Daly to approve the agenda as written. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Mr. Hurt. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve this city council meeting minutes for November 19th, 2025.
We have a motion by Mr. Daly to approve the minutes for November 19th. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hurt. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Voucher approval.
Make a motion that we approve the beginning of December 2025, $58,788.41.
We have a motion by Mr. Hurt to approve the vouchers as stated. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Daly. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the vouchers say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Special reports, Lewis County Sheriff's Department. Mr. Rubin.
Hello. For the activity report for October 2025. I'm sorry, did I say October?
That's why he's here.
For November, 216 citizen contacts, 2 on-shift calls, 25 traffic stops, 7 infractions, 2 suspended. There were a total of 2 on-shift calls, 20 off-shift, and 1 custodial arrest off-shift and 1 criminal citation for suspended. Any questions?
I have a question. There's police activity around a train, I think it was yesterday,
Yesterday.
actually. A person either jumping on or jumping off the train, and they got the person, they did,
Yeah, nobody was hurt. or anything.
Okay. just making sure they weren't still on the run or whatever.
Yeah, I went back and, because you've got that train cam there on the tracks and it has 12 hours of video. And so I went back and watched the whole thing.
I figured there's people. This is just where they caught him. So, I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
There's concern, close proximity to the railroad tracks and the train.
Yeah, there was a train that was stopped. They were doing some track switching, so it was stopped for a while. And then a report came in of somebody on the tracks. And so the sheriff's department showed up to investigate that. So in all, the tracks were blocked for like an hour and 40 minutes while all that was going down. Excellent.
Thank you.
I love that train cam. Have it up all night long.
I know, I
Watch
can
it.
get it.
It's like my
Right on my phone.
downtown.
Yeah.
All right, public comment for agenda items only, limit of 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on agenda items? Okay, moving on to public hearing for the 2025 comprehensive plan update. We'll open this public hearing at 6:17 p.m. And our friends from SBN are online. James, would you like to talk to
Yeah,
about the plan?
I can offer a status, a general overview before we open the floor up, I guess. So yeah, I mean I've been here a couple times throughout the process, just letting you know where we're at, and at this point this is where we are at. We have I would say a final draft of a plan that has been reviewed by state agencies, that's been reviewed by the Regional Transportation Planning Organization, which in Vader's case is the Cowlitz-Waukegan Council of Governments, and it's been put out for additional public comment through the SEBA process. In the conversations and the comments we've received from different state agencies, well, before I get into that, I'll say, throughout this process, I always try to make the point that, this plan kind of has to bridge the gap between, those state agencies, those regional organizations, and the city of Vader. We have mandates that we have to meet that are given to us by state agencies, that are given to us by state law, and that are recommended by the Regional Transportation Planning Organization. But ultimately, we want to create a plan that reflects the city and is accurate and relevant to the city's vision and the city's intent. So with all that said, the city's intent, the city's vision, that's what you're all here for. That's what the planning committee has reviewed the plan for. That's what public comment from Vader residents has mostly focused on. The compliance part, all the comments that we've received from state agencies in my conversations with them, they've been very supportive of our plan, supportive of the work that we do. There are some minor disagreements with Commerce about things that they think don't fully meet their requirements. I think I've mentioned before, although maybe it was in a planning committee meeting, that there was a growth management hearings board decision a couple months ago that got a lot of people animated about what does and doesn't meet the housing requirements for the comprehensive plan. But I will say that I stand by our analysis. I think, Vader is kind of a unique case and not one that very neatly fits into the box that Commerce tries to paint for all jurisdictions across the state. So with all that said, we have a plan. This plan includes with it an updated Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Plan that's been reviewed by the Parks Board and the Planning Committee. And one nice benefit of looping that effort in with the comprehensive plan is that that Parks Master Plan will be grant eligible for 10 years instead of the usual 6. And that we were able to cover that with the climate planning grant given to us by Commerce. So with all that said, I'm happy to answer any questions, take any comments from the public. Public comment from those agencies, I think, is included in your packet, as well as public comments from one resident who I believe is online with us today. Yeah, beyond that, I'm happy to answer anything, talk about anything related to the comp plan, and I'll hand it over to you all.
All right. Any members of the public have any comment about the comprehensive plan? This has been over a year in the making, so we're getting down to the line here. Yes, Ms. Radcliffe.
Read it, but is the UGA extending?
That is not part of the comprehensive plan. That's a separate thing.
Where is that going?
It's its own document and process.
So it's not under the plan?
It's not in that comprehensive plan. I mean, I think it mentions it in there, but it's not, it does not, the comprehensive plan does not authorize that.
Oh.
It'll be a separate process.
Okay.
Lots of more things to do for that.
Okay.
Annexation.
Yes. So any other comments from the public tonight on the comprehensive plan? I can say that, I've been part of the comprehensive plan process before. I think this is probably certainly the best one we've ever had. Very thorough, thanks to James and his team. Thank you especially to Jen, she's online, for her thorough review of the document several times. I love the fact that James mentioned her in his roll up of information, that she provided over 7,000 suggestions. So very thorough. Thank you.
So this is Jen, and I did send an email Saturday with just some typo and grammar stuff, but there was still some recommendations or suggestions that I had put into that, what it sounds like is now in a packet, specifically around Vader's tree canopy and the loss of that, and setting goals for making sure that our future generations have a healthy and shaded environment in which to be, that I wanted to bring to the city council for review. Secondarily was a call out that was in the 2005 comp plan about fencing along the steep cliffs at McMurphy's northwestern edge, as a consideration to include into the 2025 comp plan. And then there was a land acknowledgement suggestion in terms of based on what was found at McMurphy, possibly doing a land acknowledgement for the Cowlitz Indian tribe, acknowledging their ancestral home. And there was a fourth one that's somewhere buried in this email. Oh, utilizing Vader's parks and extending that into like mini parks, essentially trying to raise the service level of service for Vader by including smaller parks or pocket parks throughout the city to bring that into compliance. So those are the 4 main ones that I don't know is how the best way to review, but those would be the ones that I would call out beyond just grammar and spelling and such.
James, do you have any comments regarding that?
Yeah, I think it would be good to actually walk through them because a couple of Jen's comments actually coincide with the very few comments that we got from the Department of Fish and Wildlife, particularly related to the tree canopy. I'll start with the tree canopy suggestion. So if you're looking at your packet, council members, Jen's comments are on of the PDF. They're on page 37 and 38 of the PDF, and the comment about tree canopy suggestion is 6.7.2. That's the section in the plan itself. So one of WDFW's comments was around goal setting for the tree canopy. We left it pretty open to, whether the Parks Board or the Planning Committee wanted to set a goal. I don't think either of them really latched onto that, but I think it is still something for consideration if the council wants to set a more specific target. The broader context is that the tree canopy has been declining. The plan notes that there has also been, there's a delay in what tree canopy data we get and what year we're in. I think the most recent tree canopy data was like 2021 or 2022 maybe. And since then, there's been additional, clear cutting in the city. So that I guess what I guess I'm sort of posing to council here is whether the city wants to set a specific goal, whether the city wants to set a specific target, or just change the language around tree canopy to be a little bit more firm, a little stronger. Broader context for the plan and how we write a lot of these is to offer council flexibility, but if the city wants to make it part of its vision or part of its intent to really improve tree canopy, then we can set more specific targets. And but that's really that's up to you. Absolutely.
That's something that we can just add to our right of ways, things like that, to add to our.
Yeah, I don't know the process. I don't know how that works, but I'm sure James could fill us in when we're ready to do that.
So yeah, I mean, there's a couple ways we could do it. I guess there's a couple of threads that I want to point out. Like one is just setting, we look at tree canopy as like a percentage of tree coverage in the city overall, where there's been a slight reduction. And then so one, I guess, approach is to just set a goal that, you increase the percentage of tree canopy. And that goal might be supported by policies like requiring street trees which is actually a comment that came up during the public hearing for a subdivision recently in Vader. Was that, you know, street trees aren't required as part of the design standards. Another possibility is just, you know, pursuing more planting in public parks and other measures like that. But yeah, again, I just pose it to you whether, you know, council folks at the meeting want to set specific goals or set specific policies related to tree canopy or not.
Thank you. Exactly.
I think it's very important for us to preserve the canopy in our parks and to, you know, furthermore it, make sure that it's maintained and enhanced throughout the years. That's important.
For sure, lots of room for trees.
Rebecca, you have a comment?
I have a question. Are they talking about tree canopy on public properties?
I think it's just within the city of Vader itself.
So if that, we would have to log more of his property on D Street, we would.
No, that's what they're saying. If like they're saying, if you take some out to put some back, kind of thing. Someone, how you keep your percentage up.
So if you take it down, you have to replant it.
We're not talking heave, just somewhere else in the city to regain the canopy.
And some of that with logging practices is, you know, does not go through the city. So
So it would be the same, like if somebody wanted to take down another tree in his road, we'd have to replant them.
probably just depend on our policy. Jamie,
It's something that we haven't written or even.
there's a comment about
I
public
like
and
it's the first time I've thought about it.
you know, policies regarding public or private property and tree canopy.
I wouldn't think so because
Would this,
you don't
how
want
much flexibility would the city have on private property?
So the way the way that tree canopy is usually addressed in private property ties very closely to development. Different cities have like a tree code, which I'm not saying is something that Vader needs to do, but it is something that is usually intended to protect trees on private property. And it is, I think I heard somewhere in there that it is kind of like if you cut one down, you know, you have to put one back. And usually the code includes, you know, you have to monitor it and it has to, you know, survive for 10 years. You might have to put a bond out and, you know, the solutions that I talked about related to street trees similarly is a development related thing. It would be, you know, when there's potentially a short plat or a subdivision that is a condition of that, you know, the developer would have to put street trees in. That those are sort of the common private property solutions. The public property solutions are more of that, like planting in parks, planting on public land. So it's not, I guess I don't want to necessarily, my position here as a consultant isn't to tell you necessarily to do anything in this case. It's to tell you that there are options. And I think step one really is just, do you want to set a goal to preserve or to increase tree canopy? And then, you know, if that's a yes and you're not sure about the policies, you know, we can write something kind of broad as far as the policies go and say, you know, the city council, the planning committee, the parks board will, you know, work together to set specific policies around tree canopy preservation and expansion in the future.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sexton, you had a question, comment?
Well, you kind of answered it already.
Okay.
I was going to say, I thought you said street trees, you're referring to like if someone comes in and you're going to do development, you guys have a requirement, for example, like some trees have sidewalk requirements.
Mhm.
You have trees.
Like you can make your houses plant a tree, each of them, or you just plant one. Put it right over your sewer and water and all your utilities and all that
Well, and then
stuff.
they end up pushing up the sidewalk, they push on the road, the curb, they're a bad idea.
Darren doesn't like trees. Don't talk to him about
I
trees.
like trees,
No, he
but it's
doesn't.
not street trees. All they do is cause problems with utilities and sidewalks, everything else.
No, so the comprehensive plan is just kind of like guidelines of where you guys want to go.
Yeah.
Set stuff.
All right. Good conversation. Good things to know and think about. Any other comments from the public regarding the comprehensive plan update?
Oh, could I just talk through a couple of Jen's other comments, just to kind of tie a bow on them? So I feel like what I'm hearing is we're kind of putting a pin in the tree canopy suggestion. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Sounds like there's interest, and they'll be part of a broader conversation regarding policy. But
okay, so
it's probably fine for the moment.
So on my end, I'll keep things there pretty broad, but make sure it's clear that is a future goal. A couple of the other specific comments that and I will say that I'm talking through these. I kind of want to direct them towards council because they're things that at this stage in the process, I would feel uncomfortable changing without a clear direction to change it. But one of Jen's comments included a suggestion for a land acknowledgement related to McMurphy Park, with the context that arrowhead stones were discovered in the excavation of McMurphy Park. And this is a little more straightforward. It's just, does council want me to edit the plan to include a land acknowledgement? Jen includes a draft acknowledgement in her comments.
What do you?
I think that's very respectable of it.
Mr. Bailey agrees. Mr. Hurd? Sure.
I'm quite not understanding where he's going right now with this.
Okay. A little bit.
It pays tribute to the Palace Indian tribe because all of this was their land.
Right.
So,
So was there a cultural resources survey done, and they located arrowheads?
We've done one recently. One of our McMurphy Park grant, the cultural resources survey that we're waiting on from the state right now. Even then, they just find some remnants that were probably Native American related, and so we do have official documents regarding that. And I think Jen is pointing to an even a different report, and so there are multiple instances that show that there were
burial grounds right at the mouth.
People here for thousands of years. So, Toledo does this frequently. At their school board meetings, their different sporting events. One of the things they'll start the meeting out with is an acknowledgement every time to the Cowlitz tribe and people that came before us. And things like that.
I'm not discounting that at all, Mayor. But you just used the term probably, and so it seemed like a really broad, vague statement that, I mean, it's a waterway. Obviously, many people have used it, but I was wondering like if they found actual arrowheads at the park there.
So what the most recent cultural resources survey found was flake, where you could tell that somebody was taking stones and smashing them together and then trying to create sharp tools. And so that's what was found down at the park most recently. And in the report, it's pretty much what they find anywhere in this area. Anytime they do a cultural resources survey next to any of the waterways in the whole county, they find this kind of stuff because people have just been here.
Thank you.
Okay. So Ms. Ferguson, were you in support of an acknowledgement in the comprehensive plan?
Absolutely.
Okay. So James, yeah, it sounds like you've got a full support of the council on that to add an acknowledgement in there.
Okay, great. Another one of Jen's comments I'll just address myself, and that's related to level of service. The version that Jen reviewed did not include the updates to the level of service. So I think under the new analysis, Vader is in compliance. We revised Park Street Park to be a natural park at direction of the Parks Board, and I do think that there is, potentially space in the future to, look at more mini parks in a city like Vader. I think the existing, 5 to 10 year plan is pretty suited to where Vader is and what it aspires to as far as parks goes. The last comment that Jen made that I want to address is related again to parks, to McMurphy, and a concern about fencing along the steep cliffs of the park's west boundary. Is this something that the city is still working towards? Is this something that should be included in the plan? Again, hopefully a little more straightforward than the tree discussion or anything else.
Oh, since that's private, that's not city property.
Yes, you're correct.
So how could,
Yeah, the boundary would be the center of the creek in that case. And so, yeah, the cliffs would not be the city property. There has not been any work or momentum on that. I don't think anyone's talking about it right now. I'm not even
heard about it.
Yeah.
And talked about.
Yeah, I think that should be left alone.
Great. Well, that's clear enough for me. It sounds like including the land acknowledgement is moving ahead in that direction. Maybe revising some of the tree canopy language to make it clear that it is a goal, but that the city's still figuring out exactly how it wants to address that goal. And besides that, again, Jen provided some great corrections, which are very helpful. And as far as comments from public agencies, I feel pretty confident about where we are and where we stand with them. So if there's nothing else, I mean, if there's any other comments, I'm here to address them. I did want to make sure we got through some of Jen's comments to make sure, I know which to incorporate accordingly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public tonight about the comprehensive plan?
That's it for me. Thank you.
Okay. Hearing no other
Thank you
comments.
for your input, Jen.
Anytime.
Right, hearing no other comments on the comprehensive plan, close this public hearing at 6:40 p.m. And we will move on to the public hearing for the 2026 final budget. Open this public hearing at 6:41 p.m. All right. This is time for the members of the public to comment on the budget. There'll be time for the council to discuss coming up in the city business. Is there any other comments from the public on the budget? These documents have been available in various council packets up to this point. They're in the most recent one. Not a lot of shocking information in the budget. So, Ms. Radcliffe.
The property taxes, did you increase that?
Yes, so at the last council meeting on November 19th, the city council did approve a levy increase.
Saying it as a percentage sounds really crazy, but it's like $33 a year. It's like $33 a year.
Yeah, it's about $33 a year on a $350,000 home. So,
About 10%.
yeah, it was a 10% increase to the Vader levy. And so the Vader levy was around $83,000 a year. 10% turned out to be around $8,500. So it's an $8,500 increase to our levy, and of course that's spread out amongst all the residents. Any other comments from the public regarding the budget tonight?
Did it go up a lot?
Did the budget go up a lot?
No, what do you, about 250,000, 300,000?
The budget did go up, yeah. There's things in the budget regarding increased planning fees for annexation efforts. There's, of course, employee pay raises in there. Some increase of employee hours. Some of our employees were, well, they're still part-time, but we increased their hours some for the extra workload we've been seeing.
What would you say percentage-wise it went up? If you had to just ballpark it, just like the 250 to 280?
It probably went up
What do you do now?
5% or something like that, maybe.
Not a lot.
Yeah, probably overall. On the current fund, the sewer fund is largely unchanged, except for employee pay raises. Not a lot of money to play with, so not a lot of changes. Any other comments from the public tonight on the budget? Okay, public hearing is closed at 6:43 p.m. Moving on to city business. Item number 1, council to discuss the 2025 comprehensive plan update. I think we just discussed the comprehensive plan update quite thoroughly. Are there any other discussions from council or questions? No? Okay. Moving on to number 2, council to discuss 2025 budget estimates for the general fund. In your packet is the updated budget that does have the property tax increase included in it. If you look on your overview, you can see that certainly did improve the bottom line. And we're hopeful we'll probably have the monthly end of month reconciliations done this week.
Hoping for tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And then as soon as that's done, we can get that information put in there, and then we can get that sent out to you in an email right away, so you can see an even more accurate prediction of where we'll be at the end of the year. Discussions on the current fund, comments?
I don't have any.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson, any questions on the current fund?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Bailey?
No,
No.
I'm good.
All right, and then we'll move on to item number 3, council to discuss the 2025 budget estimates for the sewer fund. Any questions on the sewer fund? We're not voting on the budget tonight. Ms. Hanson did send us an email, and she had some information that she wanted me to share in her absence. That just so that you know, she is at this point not in support of a sewer rate increase. She thought that the property tax increase is enough of a burden, that to also do a 6% sewer rate increase would just be a step too far. So she just wanted me to share that. This budget does include that 6% increase in it. And so if we were to adjust that, the sewer fund for the 2 months reserve would be negative $13,000 if we did not do a sewer rate increase. As it was stated earlier, the property tax increase is around $2.50 a month for a $350,000 house. A 6% sewer increase would be about $5.50. And so all in all, the sewer rate and the property tax would be about an combined $8 a month increase for those that have sewer accounts and not.
How much is the 2-month overage, the sewer that we want? What is that number? What's a month of sewer operation?
Not a number I memorized.
Numbers over here. Because.
So it's a little under $30,000.
And what do we have in our reserve?
Well, the sewer reserve is a separate account. There's about 300,000 in the sewer reserve fund. That's a separate thing that we would use to fund capital improvement projects, not to pay employee raises, payroll.
Repairs, emergency repairs.
The regular sewer fund of whatever has no like 2-month like extra expenditures like the city does.
Yeah, it's the same considerations we do on the sewer fund as we do on the current fund. So so we show, for instance, that the estimated ending balance, where's the other one? So without the increase, the estimated, let me share. Can I zoom that? People online aren't gonna see it. So this is without the 6% increase. So here's on this is where their utility fees go. Our expenditures. All right. Our goal, so if you were to take this number, for instance, and divide it out, our goal is to have money for that, and we're only going to have this, which gives us a negative 13.
We did do a raise.
That's correct.
Cool. Because I feel the same way as Mrs. Sam. Unless we were fund taxing it. I think we should be one and done on that one. I think we got enough in the reserve to
keep it. Right now, I can use them on this.
I don't get check with.
Why is here?
Why is he here?
Situation, and you're gonna have very loud here. I don't know how much longer we're gonna.
Didn't the? Oh, I'm thinking water.
Yeah, sewer wise though, we've got some manholes that are 12 to 14 foot in depth that need completely replaced, and that's a couple of those is there goes your reserve. With prevailing wage.
So this is
Just to keep in mind.
yeah. So this is the same thing with
That's how I get the good
6%.
information is to push
So
it.
you say with the 6% that you're looking at, it's going to be like $5 a household per month?
The base rate, yeah, the base rate would go up about $5, $5.50. Our base rate's $88 a month right now. It would go up.
And
6%.
with the 10% we just did, we're at like $4, $3, $4 a month, you were saying?
On a $350,000 house, it comes out to $33 a year, which is like $2.50 a month. Mr. Radcliffe?
Does that include all the new houses that are going in? Will that help offset that?
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Once we have new houses and these folks start paying their utility bills, you figure every home is.
Wait a minute, but nothing ever goes down once it goes up, Joe. You know this.
I wasn't suggesting that. I wasn't.
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying the whole time, Jason.
What's that?
Yeah. So you get a new house. You figure they're paying around $1,000 a year in sewer fees to the city. So yeah, every house, it doesn't really cost the city an extra $1,000 to treat, a home's waste, right? It doesn't really cost anything more. At some point it would after 50 or 100 or however many homes. But so yeah, every house, it helps out this bottom line really quick. And so that's one of the reasons why we're supporting development in the city. And, there have been some requests, hey, can we put these houses on septic? We're like, we'd really rather you not. And so we've gone out of our way to find ways to attract developers to make sure that they build out the public sewer and to get these homes on the sewer.
And every house that is built, there's a hookup fee to the sewer line, which was what?
It's
$6,500 a year right now?
Yeah.
$600. Yeah, 6.
Do you have an idea about how many houses? I mean, we got quite a big subdivision.
Yeah, I am hesitant at being too optimistic. In years past, I have been too optimistic, and we knew these subdivisions were on the books, and we thought they would just get approved and they start building right away, and it just hasn't yet, And so, this budget is very, very conservative. It's only assuming three new homes for the year. I'm absolutely hopeful that there will be, many more than 3, but it is a conservative estimate.
Heck, I'm looking at sitting right there.
So, as far as employee raises, it sucks to talk about this kind of stuff because I really love our employees, like they're friends of mine. But that's something that we're committed to is their raises, right? It's a percentage per year. How much of a increase in the budget are we placing for extra hours right now?
Oh, I remember that. I had that. Let's see. I can figure that out for you real quick. Talk to them yourselves. Really talk amongst yourselves.
That's the paper you're looking for.
Oh, I've moved on because it was up there. Moved it out.
You should have that all the top there. How many extra hours of,
Extra hours I can do, but what the pay would be.
no, just how many extra hours do you think you guys are working per month?
Oh, we're asking for 8 for our building and planning, 8 more for our building and planning, and then we're asking
No.
for.
No, over the top of that, like overtime hours? Are you
As
guys
far
taking
as those
any
extra
overtime
hours apply to the budget for the year, that's what I'm asking. I'm sorry if my internet's not working that good.
Yeah, so we're asking for 8 extra hours for building and planning and 7 extra hours for the deputy clerk. And this has to do with more work that'll be coming with our RCO grant, getting the water system back, annexing, all of that will require more work out of the office.
Okay, I understand that. What is the dollar amount that we're placing in the budget for those extra hours?
It's right here. I was just trying to make it larger for the folks on the floor to see. So it is gone because I zoomed in so far I can't find it. Right here. So Mike, I know you can't see this, but these are the pays, all the employees pay with the increase. These are all the employees pay without the increase. And this is the difference. And so not counting benefits, it's an increase of about $23,000 a year is what the extra hours are going to cost the city.
And you said that without the increase on the sewer rates, that we would be in the whole 13,000?
So we're still not in the hole. Our surplus isn't
Well,
as large
like-
as we'd like.
Like,
But yes, it's 13,000.
as far as your projections went, it was like 13,000, right?
That's
So
correct.
can we come to a median point to where we don't have to raise everybody's rates? We can still add a few hours and balance that out, you know, to where we're even keel. I understand that, like, we ask more and more of our employees. I'm sorry, I got a headache and I don't feel good, but still trying to be here and committed as a volunteer. I think that we can do that, right?
Yeah, if the council, if the point of this is to not do a sewer rate increase this year, we can go and look at the budget and see what we can do, and reducing hours could be one of those things that we could do. Or not increasing them as much, I guess would be the right way to say it. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
the council is?
That's
saying
way
that we-
better verbiage. Not increasing them as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, Are you talking, Mike, are you talking the hours for the people, or are you talking the, instead of a 6%, you do a 3% tax?
I believe you guys already passed the levy last week or last meeting, and I wasn't there. So I applaud you guys. Those are hard decisions to make, and I think everybody has our city's best interest at heart. Yeah, I all the way across the board, man, like our fuel taxes, I'm a business owner, my DOR, the um, B&O taxes, like everything's gone up, and I have a meager home. I don't have a fancy house. My, twice a year, every 6 month property taxes is around $1,900. So, if it goes up $30, I don't think I'm going to notice it really, but it's too much money. So I don't, you know, that's my stance on all this. Okay. So I want to see a balanced budget. I want to see us utilize the funds that we have available. I don't want to ask anybody for more than what they have available to contribute. That's all. People want to move here. If they cut down a forest, they should plant some trees in their yard to make it pretty. This is our town.
I mean, okay, I understand, and my job is to make sure I'm an advocate for the city, but also the people of this town. We all pay these rates too. If a lot of us were around, or a lot of you were around back when the city wasn't doing so well. Why was the water system taken away? Well, because the city was not raising utility rates at the cost that it took to maintain it, and it wasn't maintained, and we didn't maintain the system, and it was taken away. Back around 2010, the city was bankrupt, basically penniless, and the council didn't even know. Property taxes weren't keeping up with the times, and overspending. These are hard decisions to make, but if we just sit back and not keep up with inflation, at least, the city will fall behind again. And so I understand that, everything goes up. Garbage rates were going to go up 5.3%, right? That was what LeMay gave us a month or so back. PUD, they raised power by 7.1%. I have this prepared this year, and they're going to do another 1.25% next year. Everything is going up, but Vader doesn't live in a vacuum. We can't just say, well, we're not going to raise our rates because everyone else is doing it. Where does that put the city? So I just want to, state that we can't just say we're going to live on $20-25 forever. It's not the way it works. So, but that being said, if council doesn't want to raise sewer rates, or at some lesser amount, we can definitely put that in some estimates and work the budget, see where we can cut. And if it's the extra hours, that could be a solution too. But if that's what council's saying, that we're not going to raise the sewer rates, then we'll try to work on that.
So where would the balance be between the increase in cost to operate the sewer system, right? Because if we're looking at, that, obviously, like if last year when we were looking at the budget, we had materials that we were purchasing that went up in value or cost, so we had to raise the rate, right? Do we have that again this year? Like, are those numbers something that we can look at to where we can find that happy median? Because I don't like charging people more money. I really don't.
I know that is definitely the hardest job of the city council. See if I can share this so you can see it, Mike. If I can find the right button. Okay. So these items, this is taken right from our sewer budget. You know, a lot of our budget, sewer budget is what I would say fixed, right? I mean, this is, you know, chlorine costs as much as chlorine costs, and we need as much as we need. You know, power is the same thing, water is the same thing. You know, there's certain things that can't be changed. Obviously, employee payroll is a thing that could be changed. I would not necessarily support that. These are the things in there that are somewhat flexible, where we could do some reductions. You know, that said, we pretty much spent that much on all of these things last year, which is why we were planning on spending on this much again in 2026. The repair and maintenance for buildings equipment at $11,000, that is higher than last year. The HVAC air conditioning system in the chlorine building has failed, which is fine during the winter time, but during the summer, we need to have air conditioning in there to keep the equipment from overheating. And so we're going to need to get that replaced. And so that's why that number is so high. So some of these things could be reduced if we tighten our belts a little bit, and we could bring that number down, but not really something to necessarily debate right now, but just to be aware, these are kind of the more flexible items that we have. So there's not a lot of give in there.
I also want to add that I really want to thank Kristen and our employees, like, of all the work that they do, because I think that they keep the ship afloat more than any of us. So I gotta trust in your guys' directives.
This is something I'll share with this, and you know, I don't want to say just because someone else does it, we should too, and everyone's budget is different. I'm not sure if Mike can see that again. It's a comparison to the city of Chehalis. Was an article that Owen actually wrote earlier this year. And this is where this data came from. I wish I could make that bigger. So this article in the Chronicle says Lewis County, or excuse me, City of Chehalis did a utility rate study. They had a company come in. Let me make this bigger so Jason doesn't look like he's in pain trying to see it. And they paid a company to come in and do a utility rate study to make sure that they were charging enough. And
You killed my screen.
Yeah, hopefully this is back. Come on, get bigger. There we go. So this was a link to the Chronicle article. So they had a utility rate study. They came in, they looked at all of their utilities. What they found is that they were undercharging. And so Chehalis has a 4-year plan to increase their rates. And so their water is going to go up 21% every single year for 108 increase by the end of 2029. Sewer, 3% every year for 16% by the end of 2029. Stormwater, 6% every year for a total of 100% by 2029. So their average monthly bill for a home is going to go from $145 to $208 over the course of 5 years. That's $63 a month more. So, you know, this is not uniquely Vader.
Well, that's water and sewer?
That's everything. Yeah, it's all of these. $63 a month for all of their services on that utility bill that the homeowners get. So, you know, basically they're doubling their water and their stormwater. Sewer is 16%. If you look at where Vader has over the last 10 years, on average, we've increased our sewer rate 4% every single year.
For stormwater.
So that's a stormwater fee. And so the stormwater system is a utility just like water and sewer. And so many cities that are doing what they should.
Usually only applied to commercial buildings that have like a large outfall of water, if they have huge roof systems and gutters, or parking lots.
That's not true. So most of the cities in the area have a stormwater fee on their utility bills. Castle Rock, Chehalis, I have a list of all of them. There's actually a system, Winlock has it. And so everyone pays a stormwater fee. It's a flat fee, like $4 a month or so. And it goes into the stormwater fund, and then they use that to fix their stormwater utility. It's a thing that Vader should be doing, and I'm going to present that in the future to you. That was not a thing for here, but
So what I'm getting at is.
but anyway, so the point of this is
they're
that
doing a monthly average bill of 145 for their water and sewer, then they're only at 72.50 for each service. And I mean, our water is 86, our sewer is now.
I have a comparison of all the different cities in the area that have their sewer rates available, and Vader is.
If we didn't,
pretty close to the lowest of all the cities. Yes.
If we didn't increase rates, we could add a $5 stormwater fee, and that would help us with all the ditches and the stormwater work that we do, right? We're replacing culverts and.
Yeah, yes, and then there'd be a dedicated fund to it. There's a little bit more to it than just enacting a stormwater fee. The attorney said that we needed to do a study, and we have to prove that there's a certain amount that we need. We can't just say we need X amount. And so it's not a thing that we can just vote on right now. Anyway, the point of my showing this is that, this is a thing that every city needs to do to raise rates to keep up with the times, and that it's not just us. So what I need for direction tonight, though, from council is what they, if there is an increase, not to necessarily vote on it tonight. I think, was that actually on the agenda tonight?
No, it's discussion.
It was later on in the agenda. We could adjust that. But if an increase is not something that you support, we need to know so that we can adjust the budget for you so you can see where we're at.
Well, where I'm at on this is everybody on the council is a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
And when our suppliers rates go up, we pass it on to our customers. We have to.
We have to.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same way with the city. If our doing business goes up, we have to have some kind of revenue to pay that. We were at 10% on the levy. The last couple of years, we only charged 3% on the sewer. And I'm like, Mike and I had a conversation about this. I hate taxes. I hate them with a passion. It's part of life. So somewhere we have to come up with some kind of balance, because we have to be able to pay our bills, pay our employees, and keep the good ones that we have. I don't know if it's a 6%,
maybe
3%.
Maybe confront us with a 3%. I don't. What would that put it at? About that $2.50 raise to our sewer bill?
Yes, be around about that. And so
I'll be honest too, it doesn't affect me because I'm not hooked into the sewer system, so I don't pay it, right? So I want to try and defend the people that might be upset for it, but maybe I shouldn't be here. Like I said, I'll follow you guys' lead. If it's something that's necessary, then we have to do it.
It's always a tough time of year.
It's tough. It sounds like it's something that, we definitely need to do. But after doing the taxes is 6% too much of a gouge? Is there something that we can compromise and do just a 3%? I'm all good for trying to compromise and still. Our connections that we get in the next 2 years would offset our shortfall.
Well, $3 versus $5 make a difference.
It does for some people. It really does. We've sat here and argued over the cost of a 4-pack of toilet paper, increasing that to a household on a monthly basis. Some people can't do it. By the end of the year, they can't buy toilet paper, I guess. I don't know. But it does, it just adds to people every time they hear it. It's just a little tiny bit, it's just another ad, and they're just, but again, costs. I mean, this is a business to keep our city alive and running, so, but we're also trying to do what's best for our community and weigh all these options. So I would like to see what 3% would look like to do a compromise.
Okay. Mr. Hurt, how do you feel about that?
You know, I'm not a yes on the 6%, and I'm not a yes on not having a tax whatsoever. I'm kind of like Miss Hanson in there, in between there, and I agree with you. I like to see.
I mean,
I would like to see the
really should have
numbers.
went 21% on the taxes, but we compromised and did 10.
Yeah.
We really should do 6% on the sewer, but we can compromise maybe and do 3%. And I feel like we're shaving it as much as we can for our community and getting as much as we can for our employees, without running people out of town, I guess, is what I'm saying.
And isn't it true that the last couple of years we've done just a 3%
On our
on the
sewer
sewer?
rates?
No, we've been doing 6% for a few years. I'm not sure. There was a letter to council for the budget, a few years back, and I had done a projection over the course of several years, and I stated that we should do 6% a year for the next several years, and so we've been sticking to it. That's why I just chose that number when we started with the budget. Obviously, we're here to discuss it though, and so if 6% is too much, a compromise is
I'd like to see us
understandable.
to get up to the 2-month in reserve like you're asking for. In case something does happen, and crap happens.
I mean, like Darren said, if he could spend that reserve that we have, that $300,000 in 2 sewer fixes that
Right.
we've been putting off for a year or 2.
It's kind of the sewer reserve and the capital improvement project is somewhat of a different conversation than the sewer rates, because obviously we're not going to funding those large scale projects is not a thing that we can do at a sewer rates alone. Obviously, it'd probably be some part of some bigger grant loan package that we would get from Department of Ecology, and then there would be a loan that we would pay on for the next 20 years or whatever. That's a different kind of thing. So.
I want to touch back on something Jason said. So I mean, we're the city. This is a business, right? We're handling city business, and John touched on that as well. If we're going to be a successful business, we have to be profitable. That way that we have it to give back to our community, and none of us are taken away from it, like personally. I think that, if we did raise the rates. It's probably not the worst thing to have more of a reserve, but I'd like to see it, spent in the right way to where we do our improvements. If Darren's seeing things that are problematic, that we take care of those things, and then we make a list of those things so that we can prioritize them as they come up.
Yeah, those large scale projects will be part of a capital improvement plan, which we're probably getting close to needing to do again. I think that has to get done every 10 years or so. So it's been a number of years.
So Mike,
Is that something that would be grant funded, or that we could seek for grant funding, Joe, if it's a capital improvement, project?
Yes.
but then again, how long does it take to get a grant? And
Yeah.
say for instance, one of the lines would blow and we use that $300,000 up, like Jason said, in a matter of minutes.
Or what Darren was saying was that there's several small projects that have been put on the back burner for quite a while that, pretty much are waiting until they are catastrophic to fix. What that means to me, if they're put on the back burner. So that's my concern, because he deals with this kind of stuff and knows the cost and is looking towards the future, and he's really very city minded. So he's the one that's going to have to deal with the shortfall. And so that's where he's coming from. And the city's coming from the fact that, the same place. We're coming from the same place. We're just trying to cover our futures, pretty much. This is where we live.
Right. So if we have our capital improvement plan and we seek the grants and then we front the money to do the improvements, can we seek reimbursement? Is that something that's possible, Joe? These aren't things that are in my wheelhouse. I don't know. I don't understand that.
Yeah, generally, like I said, ecology is the first place you can go for that, and they have an entire process that gets you to that point. And you need to have an engineer. This is just like what we're doing with the outfall diffuser improvement project and the lift station removal. Right, Civil West is doing the design and the engineering on it, and we get funding from ecology at different steps of the way, and then eventually we get separate funding for construction for those plans. And so it is a long process. It takes a year or two.
So you would like to see the numbers at 3%, correct?
Yeah, as a compromise, I'd like to.
I would like that too. What about you, Mr. Person?
I'll follow an agreement.
Okay. So what we can do is we can make those adjustments when we get the monthly reconciliation for the end of November in, and I get that to you in your email later this week. We can have that in there so you can see how that looks. Kind of jumping the gun a little bit on that, but that works out. So we were talking about the budget for the sewer fund. I think, is there anything? I think that was kind of the big topic regarding the sewer fund. Any other questions on the sewer budget right now?
No, sir.
All right. Moving on to item number 4, council to consider inland environmental magnesium hydroxide purchase for the sewer plant. So if you remember a meeting or two back, council approved a purchasing policy where the mayor is only authorized up to $1,500. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so in the past, whenever we needed this particular chemical for the sewer plant, I would just approve it because it's in the budget and all that. But with the new purchasing policy, this chemical purchase is over my purchase authority now. And so we're bringing it to council for approval.
The invoice in front of you will be for more than what we're actually going to spend. This is for 300 gallons. We only ordered 250. But we're asking if you guys could approve up to $2,000 for the purchase of the 250 gallons.
So again, yeah, this is something that we have done all the time, not all the time, we only purchase this 2 or 3 times a year. But in the past, I just approved it, but now with the new policy, I can't approve this. And so we're bringing it to council for approval. Just so you know, what is magnesium hydroxide used for? When there's a large tank down there next to the pond, it holds the magnesium hydroxide. Bill uses that to control the pH in the pond. And so if there's a lot of rainwater that goes in the wintertime or not enough in the summertime, and vice versa, the pH can get out of whack, and that's bad for the bugs that take care of things in the pond. And so this keeps the pH in check. Obviously,
I'd like to motion that we approve the purchase of the magnesium hydroxide for the sewer treatment plant.
A motion by Mr. Ferguson to approve the purchase of the chemical. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Hurt. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Just so you know, we may have an edit to that policy, the purchase policy for you, and maybe it'll exclude chemicals or something like that, just so that we can buy them when we need to, instead of waiting 2 weeks for the next council meeting. So, item number 5, council to consider resolution 14/2025, the interlocal agreement with Lewis County for co-management of the UGA. Is James still online? James, did we get all the clarifications we needed for the co-management UGA? I think Mr. Soderquist sent some information today.
Yeah, that's correct. I was just checking my notes before this meeting, and I do believe we have all the clarifications and answers that we need. Most of those clarifications and answers were just that they're not going to change anything, but there were a couple typos. I was just going to check I am checking the packet to see if this includes their corrections to that, but other than that, yeah, we have all the information we need to move forward with this, and it did put a brief hold on the survey for annexation because we needed some clarification from the county related to that as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So in the county's eyes, they already approved this, and they're already doing it. So even though we haven't approved it yet. So the you all have seen this a couple of times now. This is for the co-management of the urban growth area. This is kind of a new thing that county is doing with certain cities where, for instance, if they're going to permit something in the urban growth area, they will send it to the city for review. Actually, Darren's not here, but this has happened already. And so the city gets input on things going into the UGA. So, you know, historically, for instance, the Dollar General, they built that. They never talked to the city. That wouldn't happen in the future. It would be routed through our building department to make sure it met city codes. So this is a good thing.
I'll make a motion that we pass resolution 14/2025, the Lewis County co-management of the UGA.
Mr. Daly has a motion for approving resolution 14/2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Great. Discussion regarding this? Okay. All those in favor of resolution 14/2025, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 6, council to discuss ordinance 09/2025, amending city code to allow golf carts and WATVs. Last time we presented this, council asked for more time. I know we're missing Mr. Parsons and Ms. Hanson tonight. Ms. Hanson did have some concerns about the WATV aspect, and she wanted to research. Maybe we could have limits on the amount of power or something else, so that we don't just have anything roaming the streets. So is there any discussion on this?
Just looking at this real quick, it sets a limit of 35 miles per hour on the city streets, which our city streets are 20.
Wouldn't they have to abide by the rules that are posted?
Right.
Yeah, so we don't have.
Oh, boy, okay. Not to exceed 35.
Yeah, Ms. Hanson asked that so this was her suggestion. She doesn't feel that there's a clarification on power regarding the golf carts and WATVs. The ordinance request was originally raised by residents' request use of electric vehicles, golf carts in our town. However, was expanded to include ATVs regardless of power. And she feels that she's not excited about gas-powered four-wheelers or motorcycles cruising around the town. Shockingly loud, people cruise around in off-road vehicles. I'd rather it be limited to electric or by engine size. Obviously there's some more research to be done there. This is not an urgent thing to get passed. So if you don't have any other suggestions on it right now, we can follow up on Nicole's suggestions, see if we can find some more clarification on that, or a better system.
Agreed.
Agreed. Mr. Ferguson, any other comments on the golf cart ordinance tonight?
No, I like the idea of us being able to have them, but I don't like people rallying around the neighborhood, so.
Yep, okay. More on that later. Item number 7, council to consider resolution 15, 2025, the water utility action plan. This is probably my high priority item on the meeting tonight. So the water utility action plan, obviously back in, Mr. Burt has a copy right there. We only printed one.
Go ahead and read it real quick.
I already did.
So a water utility action plan. So obviously the council is moving forward with getting the water system back, which is absolutely the right thing to do. Back in September, the county to the fact that they weren't going to approve an extension, which expires on December 16th. And so we put things into action to get a water utility action plan created. So in the receivership agreement that was drafted 15 years ago or so, what needs to happen is that a water utility action plan is drafted, and then it gets submitted to Department of Health for review. And so council authorized funds. So SCJ Alliance has created a water utility action plan. It's about, in that giant stack, about 32 pages is new content, and the other 530 pages are reference documents related to the original receivership agreement, the Lewis County water system plan. Those documents by alone are most of that. And of course, those are 15 years old and they're named in there as reference. So what this water utility action plan is a checklist. It is the things that we need to do in order to get the water system back. And so there's I believe it's 180 days, 6 months worth of things to get done. And so with council approving this document, we will submit it to Lewis County. They will promptly submit it to the Department of Health, and then we will wait for Department of Health to approve this action plan with the list of things that we need to get done. So
Can I motion to approve resolution 15, 2025, water utility action plan?
A motion, Mr. Ferguson, to approve resolution 15, 2025 for the water utility action plan. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Daly. More discussion? More of me talking about it?
I'm excited about it, Joe. I was really excited to motion to approve it, okay?
Yeah, and I've already been playing with the water, the future Vader water system budget. And so you'll really love it when I get to bring the water budget up for review next year.
We got to raise some money, I guess.
We have third budget to talk about.
It's going down by a third?
No, I know.
That'd be great.
Selective hearing.
I know.
Okay, good first with a second, more discussion. Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of resolution 15, 2025, water utility action plan, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We'll get that off immediately tomorrow. Number 8, council to consider resolution 16, 2025, updating hours of city operation for City Hall. So as you know, City Hall is open Monday through Thursday, until 3 o'clock, Wednesday until 6 o'clock. Frequently our city employees are here later than that anyway. We just lock the door and stop answering the phones. So it's important though, they get some time, some me time to work on their projects without getting up every 10 minutes to answer the window. So the suggestion was let's open City Hall a little longer. Instead of being 6 o'clock on Wednesdays, we'll do 4 o'clock every day instead of 3 o'clock.
5 o'clock on Wednesdays.
5 o'clock on Wednesdays, 4 o'clock the other days. So lose an hour on Wednesday. But one of the things I asked was how many people come in between 5 and 6 o'clock on Wednesday? And the answer is, oh,
If any at all.
so it's not being utilized anyway. We definitely get more use being open until 4 o'clock the other days. So just looking for council to approve that if you think that's a wise thing to do.
I'll motion that we approve resolution 16, 2025.
The motion by Mr. Ferguson to approve resolution 16, 2025, updating the hours of operation for City Hall. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Hurt. Discussion. All right, all those in favor of 16, 2025, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, council to consider resolution 17, 2025, the 2026 sewer schedule of fees and charges. So we already discussed this 3%. Kristen, do we have to approve this tonight, or if we adjusted it, is there enough time to get the advertisement out?
No, there'd be enough time.
So
They wouldn't get their first bill until March.
okay, so so I can make sure so we can get this on the agenda for next week. We'll draft it up with 3% unless the numbers that you see later this week suggest something different to you. Is that all right? Any other thoughts on this?
So we can motion to approve this with the 3% increase.
You could.
So I will motion to approve the sewer schedule fee rates and charges increase, resolution 17, 2025.
Motion by Mr. Ferguson to approve resolution 17, 2025 with a 3% increase. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Daly. Discussion. Kristen, you were about to say something.
Well, it was about one of the sheets that's in there so they can finish their vote. When we have new accounts, we ask people to fill out their information, and we're asking your guys' thoughts on us putting their spouse and their where they work on there. And we're hoping that that could possibly help our collection agency get funds for us if they're not paying their sewer. So I wanted your guys' thoughts on if we were to add that to their form. Do you guys think that would be reasonable?
Could there be a spot where we can put a drop of their blood on the corner?
Social security number. Yeah.
Fingerprint our utility customers.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Any safe kind of way that we could maybe find a person, that's pretty safe information. I'm okay with it.
Okay. Ferguson, are you okay with it?
Yes, ma'am.
We have first and a second for resolution on the sewer schedule of fees and charges using 3% as the change. Any other discussion on that?
I thought we were going to actually wait until you showed us the numbers on it. But if they were ready to vote on it, let's vote on it.
We need an increase, and I think that's the only compromise that we're gonna get. It's either gonna be a 6% or a no. And I think the 6 is gonna make people mad. The no is gonna put the city in peril. Compromise.
Any other discussion on that?
You know, you realize they're still gonna be mad about the trees. You're still gonna.
Right, I hope they realize that I have properties in the city and I'm paying that 3% also.
Thank you, Jason.
As long as the toilet paper keeps going down the tube, everyone should be happy.
Right. All those in favor of resolution 17, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last item of city business, council to consider resolution 18, 2025, the extension of the memorandum of understanding for law enforcement services. So our contract with Lewis County Sheriff's Department is expiring this year, and this agreement would extend law enforcement services. Again, they are keeping the hours of service the same as last year. The fees are going, the cost is going up. It's been in the budget. It's been in the budget since day one. We knew about it well in advance. The Sheriff's Department's been very good getting that information to us early so we can plan for it.
I'm excited to motion that we approve resolution 18, 2025, our extension of MOU for law enforcement services with Lewis County Law Enforcement.
Motion, Mr. Ferguson, to approve resolution 18, 2025. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Hurd. Discussion. Okay. Hear none. All those in favor of resolution 18, 2025, the extension of the MOU for law enforcement services, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. End of city business. Moving on to public comment for non-agenda items. Any members of the public have any comments on non-agenda items tonight? And we're going to start holding people to 3 minutes. 3 minutes again, unless council extends their time. Members of the public have any comments?
I do have a comment.
You gave us handouts and everything.
I did. I gave that just a copy of
State your name and your address.
Cindy Radcliffe, 10/2017. I gave a copy of our short subdivision plat map because it still hasn't been approved. And so the reason I was here tonight is find out exactly what we have to do to get it approved. But Joe suggested I ask Darren, and Darren said, well, he thinks that it's in the process and that we can get it approved. If it's not approved by the first of the year, then we have to start spending more money for more experts to do more updates or whatever. And so we wanted to not have to do that. I did give you a copy of the plat map just because I wasn't even sure if you were aware of what we were doing. So I think it's well on the way, and I think Darren for giving me that update. I know Darren's busy. It is kind of hard to catch him and to get answers out of him, but he did give us a good update tonight.
Great. Good. Glad he was able to give you a satisfactory answer to your questions.
Well, just any information. I mean, that's the biggest problem, is just getting information about where we're at, and what we're doing. So.
I've been working with Darren lately too, and he's great to answer questions. I found him very easy to talk to, and because I've had a lot of questions and I'm not very smart, and he's been able to make the light bulb go on in my head, and I've been able to figure it out. So I'm glad you were able to talk to him tonight.
Well, he's wearing so many different hats.
Yeah,
You know,
he's busy.
He's everywhere. So that's one of the problems, is trying to catch him.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Any elected official comments tonight?
Yes,
Mr. Hurd?
we've had a problem going on for quite a while where people can just call in and make complaints about our city employees and our city council, and it's a continuing thing. And I think we need to adopt what the sheriff department is doing, is if you got a complaint against the city or the city employees or the council, you need to come in, fill out a complaint form and sign it under a perjury of law. This crap of calling in all day long, complain about this, complain about that, complain about that. We need to put a stop to it. These two ladies have better things to do with their day and take these phone calls all day long and hear these threats and complaints that, you know, we need to have some kind of complaint form where they sign it. And once they sign it, they're signing it under the perjury of law, that statement that they're giving is true and factual. And if they don't want to do that, then it goes into the garbage can. Their complaint goes in the garbage can.
Is there a way to make a complaint online to the city of Vader without coming into the office?
They could do it via email if they wanted to. We don't have well, our complaint form might be online. Is it?
We've always taken it through email
Yeah.
or over the phone.
Yeah, but you guys have better things to do than, you know, put up with that crap all
That's a
day
great
long.
idea. It could be.
And you know what? The things that are being said are untruthful. And if the person wants to sign it, then, you know, they're in jeopardy of perjuring themselves, you know? And we got to put an end to this crap.
If you can
Look that up and
press one if you want.
see what our options are for something like that.
Complaint. You've reached the complaint department. Go to www.org. Yeah, leave that voicemail.
A phone tree that
You know,
just never ends.
Yeah. Number 6, if you want to talk to us.
You know, it's just the safety for the ladies that are in the office, and they don't need to have 100 calls. One day I was sitting in here, the same person called in 5 different times, and I was only here for a half hour. You know, it gotta stop.
It wasn't me.
I'm trying to be on
Okay,
their
we
side.
can look into that and see what we can do, because I know our complaint form right now, I don't even know where it came from. It's just a thing we've always had. And so
Can
we could definitely look into that and see if there's a more
please do,
appropriate or
please do.
device we can use. So, okay. Any other elected official comments
How
tonight?
long ago was it that we got the glass windows put in? Have we always been there?
Since I've been here.
Oh, okay.
They put that up right after.
It's been a long time.
Mr. Daly, you have any comments about all your fun Christmas related giving activities?
Yes, okay, we have the giving tree set up at the restaurant, at the Little Crane Cafe. And you can come in and pick up a name of a child and bring back a gift that we could distribute, or food. We have food bins for the food bank that we've partnered up with to help the community a little bit more as much as we can. And that's both in the restaurant and in the bar behind us. Please partake and enjoy. It's a lot of fun to give, and especially when you don't know who you're giving to, it's just, it's enjoyable.
How many families do you normally help with?
It could be anywhere from 7 to 16 families. One year we did 22, I think, but I'm not sure how many families there are this year. There's always generally around 7 to 11. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very strong, because Winlock does their stuff, Toledo does their stuff with their community, so it all stays here.
Thank you.
Amanda, you're downtown on the 6th, Saturday the 6th, between 3 and after the tree lighting, there'll be a fat guy in a red suit down there. Come say hi to him.
Yeah, big day on Saturday. So in the morning, there's going to be walk and knock happening. They're bringing back the door-to-door stuff. And so you'll see some volunteers going door to door on Saturday morning. And then, and of course, it's the food drive for those of you that are unfamiliar with walk and knock. And yes,
I wasn't even listening. What did you say about, is there a walk and knock?
there is walk and knock Saturday. Yeah, first Saturday. Yeah, in the past, you know, they kind of tried to move to this drive and drop thing where people just voluntarily bring things to a central location on their own accord, and it didn't work out very well. And so they're bringing back the on foot patrol, and so the people going door to door for collection on Saturday morning.
For lazy givers, we just put it on the door.
Yeah. Just leave it on your doorstep or outside a fence or wherever you got, and they pick it up or they'll knock. So yeah, that'll be city limits. Yeah, and it'll go. All the food will go to the Winlock Vader Food Bank. Yeah. And then of course after that is the City of Vader festivities, kind of partly during that and after. So hopefully see everybody there. All right. On that, unless there's any other official comments, meeting's adjourned at 7:50 p.m. Thank you.